I want to talk about hypertrophy. I'm talking specifically about muscular hypertrophy, hypertrophy training, and how muscular hypertrophy is important in MMA. Now, if I can take a second here and give a shout out to 5% Nutrition, the experts in muscular hypertrophy. So, shout out to Rich Piana and Viking over at 5%. What's up? Hypertrophy just means stuff getting bigger at the cellular level. And therefore, anything that has cells can hypertrophy. But when I talk about hypertrophy, because of my biases, I'm almost always talking about muscular hypertrophy, either sarcomeric and or sarcoplasmic, muscular hypertrophy. In MMA, muscular hypertrophy is a good thing, but it is possible to have too much of a good thing. The trend right now in MMA, hopefully we're coming to the end of this trend actually. So the trend right now is to not do old school bodybuilding, hypertrophy training, weightlifting at all. And that's a mistake. Hypertrophy is where your strength lies, and most importantly, your strength endurance. Any strength gains, power endurance, any gains you make will last longer if you have a foundation of hypertrophy, muscular hypertrophy, to build them on. So you can gain strength doing strength training or plyometrics or complex training. But if you don't first build it on a foundation of hypertrophy, your gains won't be as great and they won't last as long. So mistake number one is people are just abandoning hypertrophy training. Now we're starting to see champions fall and fighters fail. A lot of injuries are happening because there is not enough muscular hypertrophy. The way I look at it, wrestlers or the fighter who has more muscular hypertrophy and more strength endurance is going to be able to grind down the other fighter and fatigue him on the cage and in grappling. So we're working for a balance. Rafael dos Anjos and Anthony Pettis. That's exactly what happened. Dos Anjos used his strength endurance to drain Pettis' strength and power and slowed Pettis down, tired him out, beat him up. Verdum did it to Travis Brown. There's tons of examples, and you just take a look. You'll see the tall, skinny fighter and the yoked fighter, and 9 times out of 10, the guy with more muscular hypertrophy, if he doesn't get knocked out, will grind out the other guy and slow him down and grind it to a win. So that is specifically how muscular hypertrophy and strength endurance play an important part in mixed martial arts. Then the other side, you can have too much hypertrophy, and hypertrophy training in and of itself will make you slower. So there is a time to do it, and there's a time not to do it. And I, of course, have a system which has the timing of that perfectly worked out. So, to be clear, muscular hypertrophy is important for a mixed martial artist, really, not just mixed martial arts, Muay Thai, boxing, wrestling, judo. Okay, so for a combat artist, muscular hypertrophy is important. However, there is a time to train for it and a time to avoid it, and you can have too much of it. And your strength, endurance, and much of your strength is directly correlated to muscular hypertrophy. Also, strength gains that you make and performance gains that you make will last longer if you have a good solid foundation of muscular hypertrophy to base everything on. If you want a more in-depth explanation about muscular hypertrophy, how it correlates to mixed martial arts, and the best time to do it and how to do it, there's an excerpt from one of my seminars, and check it out. Also, if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks.